What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another guide, and today we're going to be talking about Zeus. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. Now this is a guide tailored for beginner players trying to learn how to play Zeus. Now thankfully Zeus is actually one of the easier heroes in Dota to actually play. His kit is actually very basic, so it's very nice for beginner players to pick up a hero like this. He's also very versatile when it comes to his roles. Zeus could either play support or he could play core, and his main position for the longest time was actually playing from the mid lane. However, core Zeus isn't really doing too well nowadays. Until he gets a buff, he's doing a lot better from the support position, and it's really good for newer players to actually play him as support because it's a lot easier to get a lot of value from this hero. From the mid lane you do get value, but you're very lane dependent. If you don't have a good lane, you're not going to have a really good game. Meanwhile, support Zeus does very well into the side lanes, and let's break down the innate ability. It is called static field, and what that does is it does percentage based damage on your right clicks. So this is very good because it allows Zeus to actually right click and do a little bit more extra chip damage, and it helps you to actually win some of these rougher matchups against some supports that might do a lot more right click damage than you. This helps you kind of stay toe to toe with them. And then for your facets, you have your live wire facet, which makes static field do even more damage to nearby enemies. So it is really nice. So if you plan on right clicking a lot more and you just plan on doing overall more damage with your right clicks and have a more immediate impact in the game, live wire is your facet. And your other facet is divine rampage, which means when Thundergod's wrath kills an enemy, it deals more damage to the rest of the enemies. It gives you a 25% damage amp, which is pretty decent. For the most part, it's not the greatest facet. You really rely on playing on your ultimate, which some Zeus players really enjoy, on getting that kill and stealing it from their teammates. A lot of players really enjoy doing that, and it is funny to see sometimes, especially when some of your teammates might get upset. Don't do this, guys. If you don't want your teammates to be raging, don't take their kills with Thundergod's wrath, but everyone does it at some point. If you're a Zeus player, you've done it before. It's one of the fun things about the hero. But for the most part, guys, live wire is going to be the best facet you guys are going to be going for. Let's talk a little bit about the builds. So the support builds I recommend for Zeus are items like mana boots, items like wand, solar crest, aghanim scepter, glimmer capes, shard. Shard really gives you the ability to really skill into the late game because it allows you to take extra farm without spending that precious mana pool. When you're a support, you don't really have the biggest mana pool and you don't have a lot of items to go for yourself. Even though you do farm very quickly thanks to arc lightning, you still rather not use up that mana pool because a team fight might come up and you really want to be full resources to be able to maximize your damage. If you have no mana on Zeus, you are not doing damage. And when it comes to the mid game, you're not just going to be sitting there right clicking. Right clicking on Zeus is very early stages only in the laning phase, and that's about it. The rest of the game, you're going to be sitting behind your front line, making sure you're dealing all that damage, but from a safer position. That's one thing you guys really need to keep in mind with Zeus. He is a spellcaster. He's a hero that is not in the front line. He's a hero that depends on his team going in first and him going in afterwards. It's a hero that you don't want to tank any ganks. You don't want to be out of position because you will get stomped. You will get picked off very quickly. The hero is quite squishy, and he is meant to be behind the tanky cores or behind the heroes that have the most amount of sustain, that they're going to live for the longest. That way you back them up with damage. And in terms of his core item builds, you want to go for items like bottle, mana boots, or treads. Either one works really well on Zeus. Go for your Kaya. You get your aghanim scepter, refresher, shard as well. You can get shard a lot quicker, especially if you feel like the game is going to go a lot later and it's being a little bit static. Then make sure you guys are picking up that shard early on. It's going to really accelerate your farm. That's going to be incredibly important for this hero, as you can fall off on Zeus. If you're choosing to fight constantly and not farming enough, you can fall off on Zeus when it comes to your item progression, because the hero naturally just does the most amount of magic damage in the game. So much freaking damage gets pumped out from this hero, but at some point, once the enemy team gets a pipe, gets a BKB, and gets items of that nature to mitigate all that magic damage, you start to become a little bit more obsolete. So make sure you guys are getting the most amount of value on the hero throughout the game while these items aren't being purchased, because once they do, your viability definitely does go down. Let's talk about some support pairings you guys want to be on the lookout if they are being picked with Zeus. Heroes like Lion, Tusk, Nyx Assassin, Bounty Hunter. These heroes do a very good job with Zeus, especially heroes like Lion. They can fill up your mana pool. Heroes like Tusk can be a great frontliner and also really help you around the map in getting pickoffs. Also, heroes like Nyx Assassin do a very good job in scouting and letting you know where potential enemies might be, and so does Bounty Hunter. These heroes will be scouting for you. They will really make a key addition to your squad, as well as heroes like Lich are also very good with heroes like Zeus, just because Lich's frost armor is pretty good on a hero like Zeus that does have a little bit of tankability issues, and pretty much any hero that can really just support Zeus and make him tankier. But heroes that go in first for the most part are going to be your go-to. Now let's talk about some of the best and worst matchups for Zeus. Some of the best matchups are heroes like Morta, Riki, Sniper, Shadow Fiend, Sand King. All these heroes you do very well up against, especially from the mid lane. Heroes like Sniper, Shadow Fiend, Riki, when he's being played once in a while from the mid lane, very good against these heroes, and you want to make sure you are having these good matchups in order for you to be able to snowball and really start getting out of control on Zeus. But heroes that you are bad up against, heroes like Ember Spirit, Spectre, Meepo, Storm Spirit, basically heroes with a lot of catch, Zeus doesn't like to go up against because they can easily get on top of you and chain stun you, and you're really just going to get bursted very quickly. You need to make sure this doesn't happen. If you are playing up against any of the spirits, pretty much they have a lot of catch. You need to make sure you're buying the right items. You need to make sure you are in the right position and try and punish these heroes, because just because they have a lot of mobility doesn't mean you can't set up traps for them. You might get your supports to actually wait in the trees and be able to get some really free kills onto the spirits. Make sure they are not getting free kills on you, otherwise they will be snowballing out of control. There's not a whole lot you're going to be able to do about it. So buy some defensive items like Force Staff, items like Glimmer. Even if you're playing as a core, these items will keep you alive and they will keep the enemy mid laner from snowballing. But let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about Zeus? Do you guys really enjoy playing this hero? What do you guys think? One of the coolest hero designs in Dota 2, obviously Zeus, the Thunder God, one of the coolest things in Greek mythology. I'm such a big fan of Zeus, and just the fact that he's a really easy hero to play. I'm constantly recommending this hero for newer players just because of his easy usability, and at the same time you're also getting a lot of value from the hero. You're forcing the enemy team to buy BKBs constantly. You're forcing them to get a pipe, and really just damage mitigation, all for a hero that you're most likely going to be picking from the support line. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys learned something, consider subscribing and joining the Dota Chronicles community. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.